give you the mic back. Now you come back, my friend.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Annie, for keeping the ball rolling for us. You know, the tech things happen. I was speaking one moment, and the next moment I'm gone. I'm like, oh, what happened? What's going on? But it's so good to be back, and just amazing. Thank you for shouting out the amazing people already in the comment section who are joining us on this live show today. It's all about positivity, and we already have amazing people at the backstage who are waiting to share with us their insight, their knowledge, and their experience when it comes to staying positive, you know, in a negative world. And I tell you, we almost attest to that. There's so much negativity all around us. But if there's one thing I will tell you, you know, being a person who have experienced positivity as a life, it's that it starts from the mind and it's a choice you have to make. It's a mindset. I know any mentioned this earlier. It's a mindset and it's a choice you have to make. In the midst of what is happening, what do you choose? Are you going to choose to allow the negativity determines your life, you know, program your life, determines the trajectory of your life? Or are you deciding to say, well, in the midst of the negativity, I'm going to focus on the positive? So that's the whole essence of the discussion today. Like I said earlier, the link is in the comment section, or you want the link to be sent to your DM personally, reach out to any lady or myself or Lindy. We will get the link across to you so that you can be part of this to share your insight with us. You know, before I go, I just want to share a story with us. You know, it came up within the week as regards this topic. There was a certain man who got a car, and he got a car, though he was happy, and it was like a fulfillment to him. But then not many persons celebrated him because he got a car. Everybody, oh, you know, in one day it's all gone, everybody move on their way. But then few weeks later, a few months later, the same car, he used the car to knock down somebody on the way, and the person died. And the man who, when he bought the car, didn't go viral. But when the incident happened, it went viral. It was amplified. The entire community heard about it. And it's very funny that people were pushing the news to go further. Persons were sponsoring the news. People were pouring money in just so, you know, more persons can know about what is happening. But that's the world we live in. People can go all out to push negativity. People will spend money, will spend their resources to push the negative news out there. But when it comes to the good things, when it comes to the amazing things, when it comes to the positive things, only a handful of people does that. Only a handful. And that's the world we live in. That's the experience we have every day of our life. But then we have a choice to make. We have a choice to make. What do you decide today? That despite the challenges you are going through, despite the difficulties, despite the overwhelming situation, what do you choose? Are you choosing to stay in the place of negativity? Or you are saying, well, I recognize, I'm not denying the fact that this is happening, because positivity is not denial. It is recognizing that this is happening, and still you make a decision to stand for what you believe. So I'm not denying the fact that the economy is not going the way I want it to go. I'm not denying the fact that, oh, my business might not go it's not going the way I want it to go. I'm not denying the fact that, oh, I've not been able to achieve certain goals and vision, you know, because of this year. I'm not denying the fact that, oh, I'm procrastinating. I'm not denying the fact that these things are happening in my life. But in the midst of it all, I have a choice to make. And that's why I would say again, positivity is a choice. It's a choice you make and you nurture every day. You have to nurture it because every day comes with its own challenges. You know, in Nigeria, we say every day comes with its own wahala. You know, it comes with its own challenges, it comes with its own difficulties. That's why you continue to nurture the choices of staying positive every day. So what do I do in staying positive in the midst of the negativity around? The one thing I do is, for me, I focus on the things I can control. You know, this is something that a lot of people do not know how to do. We worry about the government so much that you're not even in control of the government. We worry about the weather so much, you're not even in control of the weather. You know, we worry so much about the things we cannot control. And by so doing, that puts us in a place of being overwhelmed. You are exhausted, worried about the things you cannot control. Whereas you can actually focus your energy on the things you cannot control. Take, for example, there are people who consume news every day. You know, they consume news. They consume the news every day. You want to be a positive person, but at the end of the day, you're always on CNN, you're always on BBC, you're always on those news channels that bring those things to you. You can control not to listen to them. For me, I can't remember the last time I said I want to sit down and watch the news on TV or go to the internet. I can't remember the last time. Why? Because this is something I can control. I might not be able to control the news out there, but I can be able to control if I will listen to them. For some people, listening to sad music or reading sad books, you know, in the spirit or in the mindset of thinking you are consoling yourself, you are giving yourself to sad music, sad books, everything around you is sad, 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 sad. There is no way you cannot be sad. Why? Because you become what you consume. What comes into you becomes your personality. What you absorb in your mindset becomes your reality. So you can choose not to consume these things. That's why focusing on the things you can control is very, very important. I might not be able to control the challenges that happen, but I can control how I react. I might not be able to control how people treat me, but I can control how I respond to people. I can control how I speak to people. I can control my love for people. I can control how I appreciate people. These are things I can control. So for me, that's one thing I've mastered. I'm still mastering because it's a journey, it's not a destination. Focusing on the things I can work on. Focusing on the things that is within my grasp. It has really helped me to stay more positive. You know, focusing on books I can read that can edify my mind. Not the books that I will read that will push me more down and make the matter worse or situation worse. Focusing on the right people. You know, I can decide who will be my friend. I can decide who I want to be close to. I can decide who I want to have a relationship with. So these are things within our control. And by the time you begin to focus on the things within your control, you can see that your minds become clearer. Your minds become lighter, and then you're not being overwhelmed anymore. They become your priority, and they give you a sense of purpose and a sense of vision of living your life every day. You know, I love the fact that Lydia does a meditation session for us. If there's one thing I do to separate my mind or myself from the negativity, is be in that place of calmness. In that place where you're calm, enjoying the serenity, you know, distracting yourself from the things happening in the world and just focusing on you. Focusing on you. Going through the meditation section, you know, going through the calmness, just being in that place where you are focused on you. It has really helped me. And lastly, I will end with this: gratitude. I cannot say this enough. Gratitude has really helped me, and it has changed my mindset. Because I tell you, in the midst of the worst situation, in the midst of the most challenging scenarios in your life, there are still things that you can be grateful for. For most people, they complain too much that they forget to appreciate what they have. They complain about everything. This is not happening. This is not happening. The truth is, even before you were born, things has been like that. It's just you trying to focus on the things you cannot control. So being grateful will really, really help you to stay positive in the midst of the negativity. For me, when I woke up in the morning, it's a new day. I'm grateful to be able to see this new day. I'm alive. I can move my limbs. I can move my hands. Now I have families around me. I have a vision. I have a purpose. I have something I'm waking up in the morning too. So being able to focus on that will really help you. You have to be grateful for your life. Yes, life might be challenging. You might not be where you want to be, but the truth is you are not where you used to be. You are going through a test right now. It's very difficult. It's very challenging. For me, I always tell myself, this test might be challenging, might be difficult, but there's one thing I know: from these tests, I will have my testament. I might be going through a mess right now. Everything is looking cloudy. It's looking blurry. I don't even have clarity. It's looking so messy. There is no message without a mess. So you go through the mess so you can have a message. So gratitude will help you see things in a whole different perspective. And by the time you begin to embrace gratitude intentionally every day of your life, I tell you, you begin to stay a positive person. Yes, the economy is the way it is, but in the midst of the economy, people are still doing well. In the midst of the economy, people are still achieving their goals. In the midst of the things happening in the economy, people are still, setting the bars. People are achieving success. People are achieving greatness in the midst of the economy. But for you are choosing to focus on the thing that is not working out. Why not change your mindset today? Begin to focus on the things that are working out. If you don't know how to do that, for me, I have a gratitude journal. Every day I write out what are the things I'm grateful for. Yes, things might not be going the way I want it to go, but at least there must be 3 things you are grateful for every day. As you begin to do that gradually, I tell you, your mindset will shift. These are things that will help you to nurture the decision of staying positive every day. There's so much to share because for me, this is something we are writing a book about the power of positivity and how it can bring you to possibilities. And don't worry, stay tuned. There's so much that's going to be coming. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass the mic to my co-host. I know we have a lot of persons in the backstage who are waiting to share. So I want to pass the mic around. Let me give the mic to Mr. Eni. Then he can share. Then we can pass to Lydia. Then every other person who are there, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us. And we'll give you the mic so you can share with us. So Mr. Eni, I pass the mic to you.
Screen. Thank you so much, Zina. Many things you said there. You stole my notes clearly. No. I think it's more that the strategies to practice positivity is similar. They're well known, and it's about practicing those, right? So there's many amazing people here. Lydia, should we play this different and let our guests speak first, and then we'll come back to you and I?
I think that's a fantastic idea, Annie, especially since I struggle with my mic anyway. So really, I think that's a fantastic idea. We've got 4 guests. We have David, Coach David, and Luce, and Cyrus has been sitting here for a minute now, and now we have Zara. So let's
let's do it. Let's start with Cyrus. Cyrus, you've been very patient. Talk to us, Cyrus. How do you stay positive in a negative world, Cyrus?
Hi, everyone. This is Cyrus. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a full-time brain surgeon, part-time firefighter, 5-time Olympic medalist, and 6-time Grammy winner. That's for those of you who don't know me. Those of you who know me, don't ruin the party. All right, joking aside, my name is Cyrus, and I'm a podcaster and a brand creator. I help authors sell more books and more coaching and courses, basically, with the help of podcasting. So how do I stay positive all the time? That was the question you asked. Well, I don't. I feel negative sometimes, but I bounce back. And the success I've achieved recently is that I have reduced the amount of time that it takes me to go from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. If I don't feel negativity, I'm not a human. I would be a machine. I would be ChatGPT, wouldn't I? So I'm a human with experiencing human feelings, experiencing this thing we call human experience. So it is possible to feel all sorts of feelings, but which one of them are you focusing on? And you stay focused on the longest. That determines the trajectory of your life and your business operations, whichever you want to focus on. So, there is no way you can control the outcome. What I've noticed is that a lot of depression and anxiety comes from the fact that people want to control the outcome. The sooner you learn that, the better off you're going to be. And if you already learned it, congratulations. If you're already applying it, congratulations. Outcome is out of your control. Focus on the activity, not the outcome. That's what brings people long-term fatigue and mixed with long-term or chronic depression and frustration. That's what people sometimes call burnouts. I don't experience burnouts. Mostly because I'm not a light bulb or a candle. I come back. I bounce back. Okay, things have become difficult, and good patches happen and bad patches happen in life. It happens anyway. You have to keep a cool head and keep going. It is impossible to stay positive or negative, but how fast is it gonna how fast can you bounce back? That's what really matters. And it's not happily ever after. It's happily ever laughter. Okay, so keep laughing and keep a cool head and carry on. Whatever happens, you're worth it. Keep going. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyrus. It's such wisdom there, my friend. Cyrus always has a saying. You know what, Cyrus? I'm going to work on a project about our favorite sayings, what they mean, how we can apply them to change our lives. Many of them will be about positivity for sure. But I think don't focus on the outcomes. Focus on the activities, on the actions, your actions. I take that for sure, Cyrus. And I think of course you're right. It's what we focus on, right? And it's at any one time we can only hold one thought in our mind. You can't be positive and negative at the same time. So if you choose to hold the positive thoughts, negative thoughts they die away for a long time. They might come back. I mean, my friend Christiana reminds us constantly that we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000.
Yes.
Every day, and they're normally bad. They're normally negative thoughts. The same negative thoughts. Oh, that's gone wrong. It's gone wrong. Oh, that's gone wrong. It's terrible. Oh, it's gone wrong. And then we just keep thinking that. That's just the way we think, right? Only we can change that. If that's what we think, as you say, Cyrus, focus on the negative. I don't think people realize that. I did that one time. That what that does is we attract negativity. We attract bad things that we don't want to happen. The things what we think about is what we become. It's what becomes of us.
And
So
it makes me so happy when things don't go wrong. And because my presupposition is, oh, this thing could go wrong, but it makes me so happy when it doesn't, and that makes my day. And like staying in that negative mentality, it's like staying on a broken escalator. What you're gonna do? You're gonna have to walk off it, right? You're not gonna stay there forever.
Eventually, you're gonna have to. You know what, Cyrus? I've come right now. Of course, we love when things go right, but I've come around to a way of thinking today where I love it when things go wrong. As we were talking about the other day, Cyrus, on Tuesday, about our mistakes, it's how we learn. But it brings us to another point, which is that life doesn't happen to us. Life happens for us. I think one point you and Zion made, is the fact that what you want may not have happened. You may have done your best. You may have expected and hoped for everything to go right. Alas, something else happened. Is that a reason to be negative? No, because maybe it's a lesson you have to learn. So when we go through life, think to ourselves, what can I learn from this? Suddenly, it reframes the negative to positive. Now it's us taking something from the experience. And I said, it took me a long time to learn, everyone here, that if I don't get the job, if I don't get the customer, if I don't get that money, if I don't get this, I don't get that, it's not the end of the world. Maybe I wasn't meant to have it now, if ever. It's a way of thinking. And I said, when Zion says, even when there's negative experiences, there's still positives. That's what he means. That's what I take from it anyway, right? You never know why this thing's happening to you now. That job you didn't get, it's not because you're a terrible person, not because life hates you, not because everything's gone wrong. It may just be that company wasn't for you. Think how many times we've had jobs and we've had opportunities and it's all gone wrong. I'd rather not have those opportunities at all, Cyrus. As you were saying, I'd rather just not be in that job in the first place.
Seth MacFarlane was supposed to take a flight and go somewhere, and for some reason I think he was hungover or he had a problem. It didn't make it to that flight, and then that flight ended up being one of the saddest events of the history of the United States and the rest of the world, which was 9/11. So he didn't make it to that flight, but he was like, I was a little bit annoyed, but I'm now happy that I didn't make it. So when it doesn't happen, it's okay. you still live to fight another day.
You literally do. There's a similar story with that. The Indian air crash that happened the other day. The Air India crash. There's a woman who missed a flight by 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. She missed a flight. If she'd got on that flight, she wouldn't be telling a story afterwards, would she? I'm saying that these things happen exactly like you say, Cyrus. Things don't go wrong for us. Things happen. Things don't go wrong to us. Things happen for us. It's a way of thinking. Coach, I'll take your comments and put it into my quotes. You can't be in two opposite states at the same time. That's so true. And I think that's Coach says reframing is a powerful technique to reverse negativity to positivity. Thank you so much, Cyrus. We learned a lot from you, my friend. I'm sure we're going to learn a lot from everyone. Dr. Dorothy, I see you as well. Welcome. Let's talk to Luz. Luz, it's your time. Take your 2 minutes, please.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. For those who doesn't know me, I will introduce myself. I'm Luz Pijpers, founder and managing director of my company, Luz Pijpers. 18 years in banking. I'm empowering virtual teams, and I'm experienced in leadership and community. Staying positive in a negative world is not just about feeling good. It's a powerful act of resilience and agency that can lead to personal growth and positive change. By consciously choosing optimism, focusing on gratitude, and surrounding yourself with positivity, you can navigate challenges, in my opinion, more effectively, create a more fulfilling life. And for mental and physical health, studies show that positive emotions are linked to better physical health, including a stronger immune system. And when you approach challenges with a positive attitude, you are more likely to find solutions. I'm always positive and I focus on what I can control. And we can't change the whole world. In the world, there's a lot of things happening. That's the situation, but you can't change the whole world on your own. But what you can do is focus on your environment and reach out to 1 or 2 people in your environment and try to help them solve their problems, doing things for them, and always give others credit and try to create a team spirit and group dynamic. And when you are in a team and you give others credit, there's no room for negativity. And you can always give your situation, your positivity, and give that to others. And I always focus on possibilities and opportunities. And I visualize a better picture of the future. And I'm good at working towards that goal. You can't control everything, but you can control things in your environment, and positivity, try to give that to others. That's what I want to share. Thank you.
Give it my mic. Okay, thank God, Mrs. E.
No, I was saying your mic was muted.
But I'll pass it to you anyway.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Annie. Oh, Luz, that was so powerful and amazing. Yes, indeed, we might not be able to help everybody, but we can help one person. So that's very profound, and that's something that people need to know. Sometimes we want to do too much, but we can actually do that little that matters, that little that want to make a big difference. And then working in a team, being able to appreciate one another, supporting each other, just a kind compliment, a kind words, saying something nice to people can go a long way, to help us spread that positivity. Luz, thank you so much for your amazing share, for giving us the nuggets, week in, week out, and being part of the conversation always. We appreciate you so much. Yes, we still have some few persons at the backstage who really want to share. I think we're going to go now to Coach David. Coach David, thank you so much. We appreciate you for joining us. We can see the comment, coming back to back in the comment section. We truly, truly appreciate you. So if you can hear us, Coach David, I'm calling you King now. You are King, you are a coach all together. All right, you can do it to just, share with us your thoughts on the topic today, how you are staying positive even in the negative one. Yes, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Zion. You are always an amazing inspiration, and I don't say that lightly. And on a lighter note, good to see everyone on the call. But I want to make an African joke. It's a joke among young men in Africa that if someone hails you or calls you king, for example, I generally don't refute the the greeting. You're going to pay for that greeting shortly. So I give you right back to you, King Zion. Well, I mean, young men in Africa understands this. When someone hails you really much and you refuse to, quickly defer it, the next thing you're going to pay for that kingship position. So number one technique I use a lot of humor and comedy. For me, thanks Cyrus, all protocols observed. I see everyone on the call. God bless you. That's from the bottom of my heart. I missed you guys so much. Annie does a good job of trying to ensure that I don't go out of circulation. Annie always finds me. Annie's a good man. He checks all the time on me. Thank you so much for that. I love you guys. Thank you, Annie, for checking on me always. You don't know how much, when people appear strong on the outside, you don't know how much stuff they're going through at times and how much stoic they are just being. So, and he just comes into my DM and says, "Where are you?" Thank you for that. That means a lot to me. So I use a lot of humor. Cyrus said it, that you're going to encounter negativity in this world is not a maybe. In fact, the way the world is today, the world is being programmed for negativity. And again, please, you can call me a fifth columnist or a conspiracy theorist, but I'm going to give you the facts and figures. Whatever is not bitter is not news. Go to CNN, BBC. It's always, I have a friend literally who almost committed suicide from listening to the news. They don't see good news. Somebody gave birth to a baby, there's somebody winning an award. It's always somebody bombed, gory pictures being shown. We're being programmed for negativity. And there's an economic part to it. Governments are keeping people in negative states of mind so that they can easily dominate them more. There's also the richest of the richest and the conspiracy of disease. There's a lot of thought points in the universe keeping us negative. So you must take care of your mental health by being deliberate because there is a system. So you must find a coping mechanism. You can't be ignorant. So my own is number one, humor. I think it was the British comedian who mentioned, another writer, that when you look at life too far away, then you get comedy. If you look at life too closely, then you get tragedy. So there are two views about anything. And I learned from my dad the principle of humor. When my mom died, the very night my mom died, and everybody was crying, my dad was in one corner and he was eating. So I asked him, I said, "It's your wife that's dead, though. What's wrong with you now?" The man gave me a perspective I can never forget. He said, "Well, today is the first day. It's a lifelong trauma. You're going to keep crying. I'm going to miss her for the rest of my life and yours. And by the way, you're firstborn. So better eat tonight and get ready to encourage your siblings." Say, because today the emotions will be much more. And then he chuckled and then he was off to eat, completing his food. Then he came to where all of us were and he gave me the second lesson. He said there are two dimensions about life. There's tragedy and comedy. Your mom lived a good life. And if she was in the room now, what would she say? And we all came up with a life statement that my mom would have said. And you won't believe how much doom that feeling lifted out of the room. So humor is a very powerful one for me. I'm never ashamed or afraid to laugh at myself. I give myself the opportunity to laugh and say, "Hey, I made a mistake there. I've learned something new." Or I can beat myself about the mistake I made in that scenario and it will continue with me. Once I can remove myself from the doom and gloom state, I can quickly learn the lesson by using humor. It helps me to shift the states. That's number one. Number two is that I've undergone some mind development exercise over the years. For example, I know that you need joy or happiness to pass through the seasons of your life. A lot of people are looking for joy as outcomes, and that's what Cyrus was saying. even during the activity, you need some joy. So, what if the degree does not succeed? What if you fail in the venture? So, what if we'll have learned how not to do it? Now, maintaining positive states despite the possibility of a negative outcome is a very powerful thing, and that I've learned because I need joy to pick the book. I need to be in the state of mind to pick the book. I have found out that there are two states of mind. It's either I pick the book from fear that I might fail, or I pick the book from I think I want to pass, or I want to succeed. Now, again, many people use the negative states to motivate themselves. In the long run, it's counterproductive. And there are whole management psychologists who believe in using negative states of mind at times to manage. I will say that the same people tried positive psychology, experiments showed, and they were now much more happier. So why am I picking the book? Because I think I could fail, or because I want to earn higher salary. So I've chosen the positive mental programs or paradigms to motivate me repeatedly because I need joy. I need a state of mind that enables me to make everything else dull. I want I want the bed to appear uncomfortable and the book to appear more comfortable. Although the book is the more complex thing, is one my emotions should not want to go to. But when I remember the kind of cars and I run the images through my mind of the kind of cars, the kind of possibilities. I mean, recently I was one of the top 4 scorers in the world in 4 different exams of the ISACA. ISACA is the International Security Audit Association. ISACA, all over the world, they are known. I did 4 certification exams back to back, and I was top 3 across 4 certifications. The only name, about 30-something names in London chapter that would appear 4 times on the list. I was number 1 in 1, number 2 in 2, and number 3 in 1. 4 certifications. The vouchers are here. The gifts I got. Later on, when I can put on my video, I could display certificates for everyone to see. What is my secret? My secret is that even though I'm not comfortable with the book, I can spend long hours with it when I imagine the picture. So there are images, pictures, thoughts, feelings, and emotions that I have that I have associated with the book. I've associated, I mean, the book has a lot of network.
Coach David's sound, unless it's my
Yeah.
sound lost.
No,
No.
I think we've lost David's sound.
Coach, we lost your sound. I don't know what happened.
So that's how you enjoy drama. That's how
Yeah.
you enjoy movies. So
That's
I
drama
do.
there.
Yeah. So what I do. So what I do is I attach positive movies to the drudgery. Instead of me picking the book up like I have 19 more chapters to go. Oh my God. No, I pick it up. Wow. Can you see that network element going on there? Wow. By the time it hits the server, I begin to dramatize and talk to myself. If you see me reading, you're going to start laughing because it's going to be very funny, the way I read. I mean, I was reading a chapter on TCP/IP. I began to dance. TCP/IP as 6 network elements. I was alone the night. I mean, if you're looking at me, you're going to be like, the guy has gone bonkers. But I was mastering the material. I was associating positive states to the complex material. I mean, somebody asked me a question. Hello, good afternoon, David. Can I have 3 minutes of your time? I say, yes. By the time you calculate TCP/IP range, you're going to have... I say something. To him, it's nonsense. But to me, I'm mastering someone. I make a lot of jokes around it. I turn into my material. One of these, I'm going to show you my personal space where I draw stuff. I'm drawing the material. I'm making a skit out of it. I'm forming animation in my brain. Before you know, I mastered that chapter, that if you ask me anything in that chapter, because of the memory tool of positivity and acting drama and positive images and emotions about how much money I'm going to make and how much successful I'm going to be, I convert the drudgery and the stress of the material to positivity. What's the third one? The third technique I use is that 3 o'clock will not come back. This is 8:14 where I'm seated. It won't come back again. I have a choice to either moan and swear or let this moment pass away. It's like a piece of pie that's been torn. It will never come back again. So why don't I be happy? And the fourth one, I'll stop here, yield the mic, is that if you're a sad person, I'm out of the room. You're a competitive person, I'm out of the room. You remind me of sadness, I'm out of the room. You argue too much in order to make me sad, not to win an argument, I'm out of the room. You carry order of negativity before you make me your convert, I'm totally out of the room. You can ask Annie and I, we had dinner, and we laughed about the most difficult things. And I'm looking for such people alone in my life. If my life is 70 or 80 or 90, why should I spend a minute with someone who will spread? Anybody has an aura. When you left me, did I feel more joy or energy left me? Or did I feel, anytime I live with Zion, anything he says, I have positive energy. I told you about Annie, positive energy. Christiana, positive energy. And Cyrus, anytime Cyrus speaks, I feel like he's a long lost brother. Anytime she speaks like a professor, Lurs, she spoke earlier, she sounds like a professor all the time. Like she's a professor that wants to help the whole world. Now, you can see me looking for positivity. I'm looking for positivity always in everyone. So I'll use the mic. These are my techniques. I avoid moody people like a plague. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With these few words of mine, I'm expecting my check from Zion and Annie. Praise God. Sorry, I said praise God. I'm sorry. That's me getting excited. I thought I'm in church.
Your check is on the way. Zion sent it already. I can tell you that. Go on, Lydia. I'll give you the mic, my friend.
Thank you. I can hold off my share until after we hear from Zara, because I know that she's been in the room for a minute and she's been waving her hands and she's got something to say. So let's go for it. The mic is yours. You gotta unmute.
Oh, so guys, hi, I'm Zara. Annie knows me very well because I met him in person. And I have been missing Fridays because I've been working tremendously. But I think that, let me take positivity from the nomads that I grew up with. So my daddy, my father rather, my daddy will always be my daddy. But imagine you're a 23-year-old coming to a country where everybody's a different color to you and everybody speaks a different language to you. What is one thing that they will understand is your energy. Now, I learned this from my daddy. He said to me this: imagine taking a radio and putting it up in the air. It has this static, right? And we take that radio and place it on the ground, and all of a sudden the static disappears. Positivity is like that. Positivity doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be, it's about focusing your energy in what's important to you. It's not about, the noise around you, because sometimes I think with faking, feeling okay is very difficult, because we try and make sure that the people around us are fine, but we don't take time to understand where our foundation is. And I genuinely think if our foundation is being aligned to the energy that is in the ground, like the radio static goes up, we go up and we go down. When we are surrounded by negativity can cause a lot of issues in us, not just, one day. It causes physical problems. Negativity makes you sick. I learned that anxiety is my body's way of reacting to something that it's uncertain of. And it's not a negative thing. Anxiety is not a negative thing. And a lot of people paint anxiety as the negative thing. But imagine if you thought anxiety was your body saying to you, I'm not sure about this, but I'll try. I will try. So positivity for me is like Annie knows this. My mother is from Sudan. I come from Southern Darfur. I have a podcast that covers my journey. And a lot of people come to me and they'll say to me the most ridiculous things. Oh, but why do you speak so like this? And why are you like that? And that is negativity, but that's noise. Negativity is noise, but it's noise of nature. Imagine understanding that the noise around you is not there to distract you, but the noise around you is there to concentrate you. And that's how I see positivity, is the noise around me does not drain me when I wake up with anxiety because something is new, something I don't quite understand. It's not going to hurt me. It's just because it's different. It's going to be something that I've never had to experience before. But like the nomads, like my mother's people do, they look at the stars and they think, where is hope? And they settle. And when you settle, you don't settle in this land or in that land or in the land wherever. You settle where you feel safe. And a lot of you have heard the problem with Sudan, Southern Darfur, the tribes. I come from a tribe that they're now labeled in the media as, what is the word? Militia, right? Militia. Imagine someone coming to a land that you never claimed to be your own and saying to you, get out. And you've traveled through hills and you've traveled through countries and you settled in a country where you felt you were safe, because in the past we didn't have these borders. And I think positivity sometimes is understanding that these borders are in our brains. We have 5 senses, but 5 senses are not that important. We can see, we can feel, we can touch. Yeah, they're important, like in this physical world. But positivity is about understanding the sixth emotion of empathy. And the sixth emotion that a lot of people don't understand is when you are positive within yourself, you do not understand the other person that's coming towards you. It doesn't mean that they're negative. It doesn't mean that they're targeting you. It means that they're trying to understand where their negative has come from. So I have learned this. Positivity is about your state of mind. It's not about focusing on, oh, well, I haven't done this today. It's about, like Cyrus said earlier, focusing on, positivity, focusing on where you are and your purpose. Your purpose is the most important thing. Where do you want to go? You can wake up sad one day, tomorrow you can be happy, after tomorrow you can be sad, because emotions change. But your vision and your purpose and your positivity, just like my mother says, like the nomads travel through the desert, they don't know where they're going, but they understand the vision. They know they're going towards something. They may not have a lot, like most people label the nomads of Sudan, but they have everything they need and they carry it with them. So positivity, like Zion said, positivity lives in you. It lives in you, how you choose to show up, how you choose to understand where you're going. It's not about anybody else. It's not about the noise. Positivity is down to you. Yes, you have days that you're sad, but you also have days where you're incredible. Journaling helps a lot. Saying, today I don't feel quite so well. But positivity is about understanding. It will always show up as long as it's in your heart, as long as you do show up. Because it's very difficult to be positive when all you're doing is hearing the noise and letting it drown you. Because positivity is understanding the noise around you does not make you negative. You make yourself that way. Because I could say to people this, oh yes, but I'm this color and I have this hair and I have this and I have that. But sometimes it's about showing up for yourself more and understanding your vision, what you want to be, what you want to become. If negativity wakes you, don't drown it. Let it accept your emotion and let it understand this. Negativity will never win, because noise, I don't hear. I hear myself, because noise is around you. But positivity is from yourself within. Journal, understand, journal. I tell a lot of people this, and I started a brand new podcast, as Annie knows. I had a very good, partner with Real Talk Real Queens. I started a brand new podcast. And like Annie used to say, the last mile is the toughest. But you know what? I wake up with a vision to give people a voice. And as long as my voice is heard and people's voice is heard, we're here. So thank you, Annie, very much. I'll hand the mic over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zara. It was actually me who gave you the mic, but that's okay. So I would love to answer on that the noise that is the negativity. This is very much what we do in the beginnings of these positivity rooms, is to quiet the noise, because what that noise is things that don't resonate in the same frequency that you do. It may not be loud, or it may be loud, and positivity may not be loud, and it may be loud. I tend to be quiet until I'm not. that's kind of a silly joke, but when you resonate with the things around you, there's the safe feeling that, yeah, you were talking about Zara, and where you settle. Not just settle, but that you harmonize. We're looking for where we belong in this world, and we're looking for balance. Balance is very difficult for people to attain, but harmony is something that is all around you. If you don't harmonize with what's there, we can come inside, and this is the regulating your nervous system thing. And I can't remember who said it, but someone was saying, yeah, when you are positive, when you regulate your nervous system, when you get rid of that negativity, you actually will lower your cortisol. Or the flip side of it is that when you keep going in that negativity, your cortisol goes up. And this will create something in you. And this is a very fact-based thing. And it's called a scotoma. If you've ever heard of a scotoma, it's like a blind spot, and that literally in your vision, but it's also refers to something that can happen in our brains when we start seeing everything. Our brain shuts out the things that we think are unsafe, and sometimes those things that are unsafe are not actually counter indicated for us. It's just that we can't see them, so suddenly we're just blocking out everything. That's where we need to regulate our nervous systems and ground. Go and put your feet in the grass, put your feet in the sand, put your feet in the water, put your hand on a tree, put your hand on the grass, put your hand on don't put your hand on a cactus. If you're in the desert, don't do that, it'll hurt. But ground yourself and breathe. And I'm not saying that this is the answer to everything, but it's the start to regulating your nervous system. And otherwise, there's so much that and Coach David was saying, that Zion was saying, that everybody's been saying about having the positive outlook and it having it be a choice. And that choice is, and the choice to actually learn from what it is that's happening, that choice is incredibly valuable. As we have something, and things are gonna happen, and go ahead and feel those things happening. You feel them. Go on the couch. If you're, someplace where you do this, binge on Netflix, eat popcorn, whatever, and then move on. Because, like Cyrus was saying, sometimes you don't even, you're not able to show up. But if you're able to show up, then you're able to change things. You're able to have a good day. There's a concept that Vishen Lakhiani, who is a Malaysian born Hindu who has risen to create the Mind Valley platform, and he's a best-selling author of The Buddha and the Badass and a couple of other books. But he's got something which he talks about when you have the intersection of happiness and in the now and your vision for the future. And the thing is, so we're talking about positivity, and some people can just distract themselves in the vision. When you have low vision and low happiness, you're in that negative spiral, and you're just going around and around. And you're getting that mental scotoma, and you're just not even seeing anything but your negativity. When you have just happiness, but you don't have vision, and you've got high happiness but low vision, you're in a state of like a current reality trap where you're being positive, but you're still kind of have stuff crashing in around you, and you're just desperately trying to stay positive. And that's something that's great about being in this space is you have your vision, but you can also see other people's vision for this positivity. If you are in the state, and Zara mentioned this, of having like high vision, but maybe low happiness, and you end up in being anxious. And the anxiety is the energy of what you need to be doing, but having the support of the positivity to make it go forward. When you have high vision and high happiness, you have the place where you can thrive, and you can bend the reality of what is around you. Be the positive vibration in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, in your province, in your country. Be and connect with all the positive vibrations. So I just want to add that to all the amazing things that have been said so far. And I also want to honor that Dr. Dorothea is here and also waiting to speak. So if you are still able to do so, and you can unmute yourself, Dr. Dorothea, the mic is yours. Well, did she leave?
I think we'll talk to Dorothea. She sent me a message in my DM, but I can't look in two places at once, right? So I'm kind of here. I'm here with her. So hopefully she'll come back. But I think amazing shares, everyone. You've helped us paint a picture, as Coach David I would say, play a movie. And positivity is an amazing. It's a tool for everything. Coach David talks about the energy. It's the energy that people see and feel from us, your personal energy, as it says, right? Of course, and thankfully, many, I think people who have similar energy tend to hang out together, right? That's a point in itself, in the sense that negative people attract negative people. And we sort of drag ourselves into a world of gloom and doom.
Yeah.
Whereas the opposite happens. If you are a positive person, you will attract the people who resonate in the same energy, vibration as you do, right?
Right. It doesn't mean that bad things don't happen, but you don't stay in them because the positive vibrations come to you.
Exactly. Look, I mean, and this is what many people will say why they won't take on the positivity mindset, Lydia. They talk about that, man. They tell you about the things that have gone wrong. Oh, my life is terrible. Oh, you don't know what problems I have. You don't know what I have to live with. No, we don't. But we've all got our own issues. Let me assure you, right? And yet we have to find that positivity. I always say the one that stumps me the most, the one that has me thinking twice before I speak again, is when someone says, "My health is bad. I've got cancer, or I've got something else," or someone's died. I'm like, I can't change those things. No, but you give me a conundrum, and that's what it is for me, right? The conundrum is this: am I being helpful to say to you, okay, things go wrong for you? Yes, your health, it's something. Your health, you might have an illness, right? But you know what? Because of that, the world gives up on you. Why don't you give up on yourself too? That's not the answer, is it? Even when things look bleak, even when things look desperate, we must find positivity. We must find hope. We must find what Lydia just talked about is so important. That finding purpose, because, and as Coach David will tell you, we are all divinely gifted. We're here now. We have a gift. So that's enough. That once you realize you have a gift, that's why you're alive. That's why you're on the planet. That's why you're a human, right? That's a reason to be positive in itself. Because one day your time will come to live your purpose. So just think of that. So that day will come. I'm sure many of us, we got here by a long journey. We all do, right? But along the way, you find the joy when you get to live who you are, when you get to live your gift to really make a difference to humanity. Because with that, with you living your gift, your divine purpose, you may find riches, but you're going to find fulfillment. That's for sure. You find some happiness as well. I assure you. So even if things look bad for you, all I can say is, we have to work through those periods by being positive. Otherwise, we're kind of stuck, right? We're kind of stuck in the abyss. And there's no point being stuck in the abyss. You see, and then you realize that, as has been said already today, what we think about is what will become. If we think negative things happen to make us even more negative, right? Because if you think positively, guess what? Good things happen. So I always implore everyone, to, let me try another way. I've had to learn when things go wrong, the world hasn't ended. There's normally a lesson to learn on my journey, and things will always come back to going well again. They always do. It's like day and day and night, right? Every day there's going to be night, and then tomorrow there'll be another day. So when things look like they've gone wrong, yes, but the good things are coming right around the corner as well. The only time the good things don't come is when we give up, or choose to stay negative and just to stay in the abyss. There's no point being there at all, right? I think that with positivity, so we begin to see the world differently. We begin to generally be different. So when Zion talks about the news earlier, it's not the environment that makes us happy. Coach David mentioned it too. It's not I'll be happy when. We have to be happy, and then it happens. That's the truth of. That's what I've learned in life, right? It's not when. Let's stop putting conditions on our happiness and on our positivity. I'm positive when. Now, I always say that's like saying, I will put wood in the fire when the fire gives me heat. So he said to the fire, give me heat, then I'll give you wood. No, that's not how it happens, is it? You put the wood in and the fire gives you heat. We put positivity in and good things happen. That's our reality. Now, and yes, we do create our reality. We create what happens to us. I said, these are the things that make me believe in positivity. And that's why we do this room every week. Because now we truly can create a better world for us and for others. But it starts by truly believing that we have that power. Again, if you're thinking they're just talking, saying no, nothing goes right for me, I say no, you're not looking at the evidence. Really not. Good things happen to you every day. You're alive. As Zion said, you're alive. You're breathing. Your fingers are moving. That means you're alive, right? Good things have happened to you already. Like I said to you, you have the capacity to think, to feel, to change how you feel. You have the power to create your world. Yeah, you're divinely gifted, with something that the world needs. Those enough should give you a sense of joy. Because all you can do is build on that sense of joy going forward, right? And when you do, things just get better and better. Look, I love Coach Davis' point in terms of finding humor. I think that's so important. Many of the time we're too serious. If you take yourself too seriously, as he says, all you find is tragedy. Whereas if you lighten up a bit and realize the world is actually a nice place, you find joy. You find happiness. This is why we preach this. It's design. I'm sure you. It sounds simple, but you have to truly believe it, right? Look, for me, there were days when I didn't believe any of this. I was just living life. Something happens, I'd be like, terrible. Everyone's terrible. A client doesn't pay me. I'm like, they always do this to me. They don't. No, of course they don't always do this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. If no one ever paid me, I'd be bankrupt by now, right? If someone lets you down, people don't always let you down. Of course they don't. Yes, and there's an exception here and there, right? Like I say, I've had to learn any work out what you're meant to learn, and usually it's down to me. And sometimes my feeling, my positivity, my interpretation, my framing of the situation is what makes it happen. I had a client yesterday, for example. This client owes me lots of money. A lot of money. I say 2 months worth of money. It's a lot of money, I assure you, right? There's zeros at the end of those numbers, right? And I thought, I'm just gonna take him to court. And I'm like, Andy, stop it. You stop it, right? So I called him. I'm like, how would I have known he had a motorcycle accident? So we're lucky he's alive. And he's like, no, of course I'm gonna pay you. No, so now I'm back walking again. I've got ideas where I'm going to get money from. See, in years gone by, I would have cried, I would have cussed myself and said it's my fault. I never get paid on time. I never get paid by anyone. No. So by thinking positively, you get the results you want, which are almost always positive, right? That's the world we live in. Look, every day when I get up, I start off with, John called it journaling. So essentially, it's rewriting my goals, the reason why I am, right? And it starts off with, I am so happy and grateful now that. What are you happy and grateful for? I said, tell yourself, write in your journal, write in wherever you write. Even if you don't write, just start with that in the mirror. Say to yourself, I'm so happy and grateful that. You'll be amazed how many things you're happy and grateful for. And then from there, only good things happen. From there, after that, I meditate on the things I want to happen. Don't forget that I'm meditating on the good things that have happened, by the way. And even then, I tend to work with, I tend to think about what I want to achieve in life. And I'm happy and grateful that I have a chance to, 1, to think about it, 2, to actually work towards it, and 3, to actually achieve it. So again, I could live in the present and say, oh, well, it's raining outside. It always rains. Or I could say, I'm happy that it's paradise out there. I'm happy that I've got a business that serves millions of people. There's something called working from the end result. It took me a long time to learn this lesson. Now, I think but once you learn the lesson, then essentially you feel you're a success before you even get there. You're happy before you get anywhere near it. But it's the happiness that makes it happen. That's the point, right? The positivity that makes the results that you want to happen. Zara mentioned gratitude. Like I just said to you, I'm so happy and grateful that, now that. That is a joy in my life. And with that joy, every day is a blessing. Every day is truly a joy. Every day is, I remember there was a time I used to wake up every day, Zion, nervous about everything. I'm going to go to work. What's going to go wrong today on the way to work? What's going to happen when I get to work? Who's going to moan at me today? Who's going to, what? And your day just ends up miserable. I've learned to stop doing that now. And I've learned to live with it. I'm so happy and grateful. And every day is truly a joy. We can all do it. Now, my friends do it. If you don't do it already, my friends, let me give you a challenge. This is my new challenge for everyone, for most things in life. The challenge in the city, here's a challenge. You get a bit of paper and say to you, I can't be positive because. Then explain to yourself why you can't be positive. You find there's no reason not to. You have no reason that stacks up. Yes, of course I'm hungry, but to go and get some food, right? Yeah, I need money. Go and get a job. Find a way now. Do something and earn some money. So if you can answer the question, I can't be positive because, let me know. Seriously, I'd love to learn from you because no one's ever answered that question. That's why we do what we do, right? Now you know. Go do it and live a positive life. Let me stop talking. Thank you so much, everyone that shared. So, Jay, I don't think we've mentioned you yet. I saw you earlier. I said, Jay, thank you so much for being here. I said, I truly appreciate you. Who else have I missed? So I'm gutted we missed Dr. Dorothea. There was someone else there was a couple of other names I saw. Yeah, Dr. Roxana, thank you for joining us, of course, always. LinkedIn the user is Luz. Selassie, I see you as well. Welcome, Selassie. Oh, I said show. Where's Selassie? Okay. He's on my screen. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Selassie. Who else have we missed? Hopefully, we don't like to miss anyone. Of course we don't. What does Mr. Calm say? Go, Coach David. Drop a 6-month course to 15 minutes. I tell you, that is how Coach David goes on, right? And he gives us genius and gems. Gideon, thank you so much for being here. And I remember Gideon left a message a couple of days ago. He said, "I'm depressed." And I said, "What are you going to do about it?" That's how life really is. Like, we have a choice. We don't take action. Aurelia, I'm not sure I mentioned you. Of course, we saw you earlier. But thank you for joining us as well. Thank you so much. So look, I'll stop talking and say, go back to Coach David's point. Reframing is a very powerful technique. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. You find the meaning. You find what you're meant to learn from each experience. And joy is the ultimate aim. It's yours too, by the way. It really is. Mrs. E, I'll pass the mic to you, my friend.
Wow, thank you so much, Annie. We really appreciate you. I know Zara want to say something. Don't worry. Okay. It's giving Annie his flowers. All right. Okay. Annie, please take your flowers. So many flowers coming your way. So many love. Wow, thank you so much. It's just so amazing that this conversation is coming in today. And Mr. Annie, I love what you said. Happiness is not something you find. It is something you create. People are waiting to find happiness. They are working out to find happiness. No, you don't find happiness anywhere. You create your happiness. And that can only happen when you do that with a positive mindset, with a positive attitude. And like Coach David said, reframing your mind. It's through reframing that you can change your negativity into positivity. To be honest, this conversation is inexhaustible. It's going to be in series. So we're going to continue this series next week. And we're going to continue this just to give more room, more insight, and spread more positivity. And like I said earlier, if you know of somebody who needs positivity in their life, you know a colleague, a friend, a co-worker, a family member that needs to hear this, please share this video to them. Share the link. Send it to the group. Tag them and say, you need to watch this replay, so that people can be able to embrace positivity intentionally. Because the goal of this conversation is not just for us to come on live and just talk. No, it's so that people can learn, they can take actions, and their life can be impacted from the wisdom we've shared, from the insight, and from the deep knowledge that we have been able to expose people to today. So with that, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined us today. Firstly, to my amazing co-host, and Mr. Enin, Lydia, Jamie, and Issa, even though Jamie and Issa are not here today, but the show kept going. I really, really want to appreciate you, and to the wonderful and amazing individual, the professors, the coaches, the superstars, the kings and queens who joined us on stage, Coach David, Zara, Louis, and Cyrus. Dr. Dorothea was here earlier, but she kept coming in and out. We appreciate you all so much. We want to say a big thank you. Never forget, next week, Friday is another time. It's another date where we are spreading positivity to every corner of the earth, one person at a time. So be expecting a personalized invite for the fact that you are here. We want to have you here. Join us. Let's put our voices together, because the more awareness we bring, the more impact we can see. The more awareness we bring about positivity, the more transformative it becomes in the life of people. Positivity is beyond just a word. It is a life that we are a testament of, a life that we are living, a life that we are proving that it exists. And we don't just want to enjoy this life all by ourselves. We want to spread it to more persons so that they can be able to enjoy this life of positivity, that despite what they are going through in the midst of the challenges, they can still create their own happiness and live a life full of joy, full of joy, full of joy, full of joy. So thank you so much, everybody. We sincerely appreciate you. And with that, we say we love you. Keep spreading the love, keep spreading the kindness, keep spreading the empathy, because the world needs it more. We live in a world where people are going through so much. We live in a world where people are going through so much negativity. But your kind words, your acts of kindness, your appreciation, your gratitude to people can make a huge difference. Sometimes somebody just needs you to tell them you love them. Sometimes somebody just needs to tell them how much you appreciate them. Sometimes what people need is that they want to feel seen and heard. They want you to just listen to them. And just by doing this simple but life transforming and powerful things can be a game changer to people out there. So position yourself as a catalyst to spread more love, to spread more kindness, because at the end of the day, together, we can do so much more to make positivity evident in our world every day. So guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Till we see you next week, Friday. We'll say bye-bye and have a great weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, Jason.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with global.media.com. Let's celebrate.